Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Lush Foliage. So in today's video we are going to be talking about this absolutely beautiful flowering plant called as chrysanthemum. It's one of my favorite flowering plant. I had quite of them in my previous house, but I was not able to move them to my new house. But nevertheless, after searching a lot, I happened to find the color that I love, which is kind of this deep red wine, or I would say more like a burgundy color. I don't know if it's visible because it's still closed. Probably in few days the flowers will start to open up. These are all the new buds because I just purchased it last night. Thankfully I found the color back again. So we will be planting this. Now let me tell you a little bit about this plant. It is a perennial plant, but the flowers will not bloom during the winters. The blooming time for the flowers are during the spring or during summers. Even during the monsoon time they tend to bloom. This is the right time if you want to purchase a chrysanthemum. This is the right time to purchase them because they are in full bloom, and by the time the winters come in or set in, the flowers will stop blooming. So this is more like a summer plant. So I purchased this plant last evening. It's still in its grow bag, so I will take it out and repot it. So I thought I will show you the entire process. I have my soil, I have the pot in front. The soil that I'm using over here is a very loose, porous, well-draining soil mix, which has a mix of coco peat, garden soil, sand. I don't have any perlite in it. Sand is more than enough to make the soil mix well-draining. So that's the soil mix that I will be using because they prefer a well-draining soil mix, yet something that retains a slight amount of moisture. That's why I have used coco peat. Now again guys, coco peat ratio depends upon your city and environment. I belong to a very dry environment, so I have used around 30 to 40% of coco peat. If you are from a very humid environment, then you can reduce or cut down on the coco peat. So let me first loosen the soil and the root ball and try to take out the plant. I will not clear a lot of the soil from the root area, just a little bit. As you can see, it's completely red soil, which is very heavy, very dense, tends to make it very compact, and it becomes little difficult for the roots to breathe over the period of time. So that's why we need to repot. We need to loosen the soil a little bit, not a lot, because we do not want to disturb the roots. Just loosen it a little bit because our soil already is very well draining, loose, porous. If the soil over here is compact, it's absolutely fine. The important part is the lower portion where the roots are present. That area should be very loose. So as you can see, I have loosened the soil from the root area, and I'm going to just place it into this pot over here. That's about it. The roots are free beneath. Now we will top it up with our soil mix that we have just prepared, which is a mix of coco peat, garden soil, sand. That's it. This pot also has a drain hole in order to drain out all the excess water. Whenever you're growing any flowering plant, you have to ensure that the pot has a drain hole. Never use a pot without a drain hole. It is quite dangerous because if the water tends to pool in, it will rot your plants. Here we go. I will be doing a little bit of watering. Now this plant prefers a good amount of morning direct sunlight for at least 6 hours. You cannot keep it in indirect bright light. You are buying this flowering plant for its flowers. If you want to have a good amount of flowers, you will have to offer a good amount of morning direct sunlight for 5 to 6 hours minimum. If you get 7-8 hours of direct morning sunlight, it's absolutely fine, but minimum at least 6 hours of direct sunlight in order to get a good amount of blooms. Apart from that, you have to use fertilizers during the summer season because that's when they start to bloom. So you can go with any liquid based fertilizer. You can go with any fertilizers, organic fertilizers like vermicompost, compost, seaweed, liquid fertilizer. Once every 15 days, it's going to work out really well. Because once they start to bloom, they prefer a rich organic soil, so you have to ensure that there is a good amount of nutrients in the soil in order for the plant to grow healthy and to put out a good amount of blooms. Talking about propagation, I have heard that they can even get propagated via stem cuttings. I will try that in future, not right now because the plant has just come in. I do not want to do any kind of cuttings, but I will definitely make a video in future because I've heard that they also tend to propagate via stem cuttings. So now I will go ahead and give it a little bit of watering. Watering again is very important. Chrysanthemum do not like to be sitting in dry soil for a very long time. They will start to dry out. The leaves will start to turn brown if you do not give a good amount of water. Whenever the soil is 50% dry, go ahead and give a good amount of watering until the water starts to pass through the drain hole. As you can see, my soil is slightly moist, but I'll still go ahead and water it because we have just repotted it. I'm not using any fertilizers right now. Probably after a month I will start offering it a good amount of fertilizers. I do not want the plant to struggle. I want the plant to first rest in the pot, and then probably maybe after 20 days I will add some compost tea so that it can help the plant grow better. Talking about pest issues, yes, they do get affected with aphids, especially when they are in bloom. They might even get affected with mealybugs, so ensure you're doing a visual check. If you see anything, even one mealybug, take out your neem oil and kill that mealybug then and there. Do not wait for the last minute because mealybugs can spread really fast. So that's about it, guys. I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button, and if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe, and keep planting.